A new study done in California shows that decriminalization of marijuana caused youth pot arrests to plunge by 61% in 1 year. And if you actually look deeper into the statistics, it paints an even better picture, to tell you the truth. Interestingly, all other categories in the state's Department of Finance crime reporting statistics saw significant declines from 2010 to 2011 as well. Arrests of young people for violent crime dropped 16% over 2010, and murder was down 26%. Property crimes were also down 16%, and rapes were down by 10%. So, what does this show us? Well, look, this is just one piece of the pie, and there's been plenty of other studies done. I think Portugal is another area, the Netherlands is another area where they decriminalize weed. In some areas they legalize all drugs, or they decriminalize all drugs, and what happens? Crime drops across the board. Now, it's almost a logical necessity that if you decriminalize weed, you're going to have less arrests. But then the rest of the stuff that follows is the more interesting stuff. The fact that violent crime drops, rapes drop, property crimes drop. And why is that? It's very simple. When a product is illegal and you open up a black market to it, because it is a black market, you are going to have criminals selling the product. Criminals who are prone to violence. Criminals who can't sue somebody and take them to court, so they use street justice and take out a gun. I mean, look at the amount of violent crime that happened when prohibition of alcohol was in place. I mean, you had people who were murdered for champagne and rum. It just so happens, to the surprise of no libertarians and very few liberals, but certainly to the surprise of plenty of Republicans, that prohibition doesn't work. It's bad across the board. We jail more people in this country than tolerant, benevolent, communist China does. If you decriminalize all drugs, I would even go as far as to legalize all drugs, and you treat it like a medical problem so people who want help can get help as opposed to just putting them through the criminal justice system when they're not criminals, you're going to find that everybody's better off when you do that. And also, you open up a whole other industry that you can tax the product so you can increase government revenue, you can close the deficit and the debt, you can have an economic boom in the sense of job creation because you need to hire marketers, you need to hire legal teams to look after these new corporations and businesses that exist. You need to hire all types of people. If you open up a weed store or whatever, you need people to cook your pot brownies and all your different delicious foods that'll get you high. You need people who, I mean, this is I'm just explaining the most obvious things in the world right now, but since we are still stuck in this puritanical mindset where we're willing to pick and choose which drugs we want to have legal and not have legal, and we do it based on arbitrary measures, if you actually go back in time and you look at why we had the first drug laws on the book, it was put on the books for openly racist reasons. Right? I mean, the Chinese immigrants who were smoking opium, they wanted to criminalize Chinese life and put those guys in jail or just simply use them for slave labor in the United States. So you criminalize what they do. And what did they do? Well, they would hang out in opium dens. Same thing, there was anti-black and anti-Hispanic sentiment with criminalizing marijuana. I mean, there was a time in the United States of America when all drugs were legal. Instead of throwing our taxpayer dollars away to house, to feed, to clothe, and to take care of people who are arrested for non-violent drug offenses, why not have instead a legal code and laws that actually reflect things that should be illegal and shouldn't be illegal? It's not a crime to express your liberty and freedom in whatever way you deem appropriate. If you're in favor of kicking back on the weekends and having some, popping some Vicodin or having a lot of Xanax or doing some cocaine or some Adderall or or smoking weed or doing angel dust or whatever. It's none of my business. It's your body, it's your life. It only becomes my business and it only becomes the government's business when you actually, in a physical sense, in a real way, infringe on somebody else's right. And as far as I'm concerned, being able to pick and choose what you can put in your own body is an absolute cornerstone and a fundamental piece of what freedom is, by definition.